after describing it as historic indictments in two major cases on sports betting and online rigged poker games. A lot of technology used, high technology in this. We are going to continue to follow this, but we do have to go to the Prime Minister and the Premier of Ontario, who are now side by side at Ontario's Darlington nuclear facility with an announcement.
6 months in the interests of Ontarians and in the interests of Canadians. We are both focused on building a strong economy. We are laser focused on getting big projects, such as the one we're discussing today, we're launching today, getting those big projects built faster and together delivering for the people of Ontario. Nicole, congratulations to you and your team at Ontario Power Generation for what you've accomplished in recent years with the refurbishment, being a driving force in clean energy in this province. You have big champions in the Premier and myself and our governments. Minister Hodgson, Minister Bethlen Falvey, Minister McCarthy, thank you for being here, and to my colleagues from the House, thank you for being here, the MPs from the region. You know, we're united in a mission to create new opportunities for workers and our businesses. We're united to build big, build bold, and build now. Last night, I was at the University of Ottawa, and I highlighted more of our new government's plan to build Canada strong, to transform our economy from one that has become too reliant on the United States to one that's stronger and more resilient, to take control of our future as Canadians. Because the world is increasingly dangerous and divided, and new technologies have brought distant threats to our door. And the trade war is causing massive economic uncertainty that is holding back investment and is costing jobs, including jobs here in Ontario. What we're experiencing is not a transition, it's a rupture. It's a sharp change in a very short period of time. And in order to confront those challenges, in order to emerge stronger, Canadians must chart a new course, our own course. Take control of our future, bet big on ourselves, and, like the Jays, play to win. Yes. Yeah. So, in a few weeks' time, on November 4th, we will table our first federal budget. It will make generational investments with a plan to protect our communities, our borders, and our way of life, to build an economy stronger, where everyone has a chance to get ahead, and to empower Canadians with new opportunities, with better careers, and lower cost of living. Our plan, first and foremost, is to build, so we can take control of our future, as I said. In the last 6 months, our government has been relentlessly focused on this mission. We started by creating the right conditions to get big things built faster. Notre plan consiste d'abord et avant.
Our plan consists of, first and foremost, building to be in control of our future. Over the last 6 months, the Government of Canada has tirelessly focused on that mission. First of all, we are creating the conditions that are conducive to the execution of major projects more quickly.
The construction of major infrastructure projects has been stalled by an arduous, inefficient federal approval processes. Uncertainty, red tape, duplication, and complicated review processes have held that investment back, curbed investment. You know, to receive approval, major projects had to undergo numerous reviews and assessments that often happen one after another instead of all running in parallel. Say, OPG knows how to run processes in parallel. Our government should be able to run processes in parallel. For too long, when federal agencies examined a new project, their immediate question has been, why? We're changing that. We've changed that. Now, we ask, how? At the end of June, we passed the One Canadian Economy Act with bipartisan support. And it removes federal barriers to internal trade. And let me salute the Premier for his leadership as head of the Council of Federation in making that a priority. What that act also does is it fast-tracks the approvals of nation-building projects. In August, we opened what we call the Major Projects Office, which serves as a single point of contact to get nation-building projects built faster. Projects that will turbocharge our economy. Projects which will help Canadians export to new partners around the world. Projects that will create hundreds of thousands, not of just jobs, hundreds of thousands of high-paying careers, good union careers for Canadian workers. In September, we announced the first group, the first tranche of these projects that we referred to the Major Projects Office for accelerated deployment. On top of that list is the new Darlington project, nuclear project. And today, that's why we're here, to make a generational investment. An investment that will extend Canada's world leadership in clean energy. We are an energy superpower, and we are only getting stronger. This project will make us the first in the G7 to have an entirely new kind of nuclear reactor. Aujourd'hui,
today, we are making unprecedented investments to make Canada a global leader in clean energy, to make us the first country in the G7 to have new types of nuclear reactors.
Canada's new government is putting forward $2 billion to build new clean energy technology, the first of its kind in Canada. And with the Canada Growth Fund, and I want to salute Deborah Rita, the CEO of PSP, who oversees the Canada Growth Fund. With the Canada Growth Fund, we are building 4 small modular reactors, technology that will power homes in Ontario with clean energy. Once built, each new reactor will be able to power 300,000 homes with that clean energy, keeping your lights on and keeping your air clean. This project alone, the first phase of this project, will drive $500 million annually into Ontario's nuclear supply chain, the supply chain Nicole just referenced that has been renewed and reinforced. And it will position Canada as the global leader in the deployment of small modular reactors, a leadership we can take to other markets. La technologie propre, c'est l'avenir.
Clean technology is the future, and Canada, as being one of the first to preserve and adopt that technology, will be able to support the needs in the global economy. To strengthen Canada's advantage in terms of sustainability, we are launching a new climate competitive strategy. This will help us to reduce our emissions, be more innovative, and be a global leader in clean technologies.
The Darlington new nuclear project will sustain 3,700 jobs annually, including 18,000 additional jobs during construction. Those 3,700 jobs, they'll extend over the next 65 years. A couple of more World Series trips for the Jays. Jobs like the plant workers who are here with us today, fulfilling careers in the trades, working to provide Ontario families with power. Now, that building doesn't only create those jobs, it also supports our industries. And with our Buy Canadian policy, when we build, we will be our own best customer. And I want to salute this project because over 80% of the procurement for this project will be from within Canada. Nos grands projets seront réalisés à l'aide
Our major projects will be implemented using steel from Ontario, aluminum from Quebec, and lumber from BC. We will build these projects with resources and critical minerals coming from across the country, including the Ring of Fire. This will help us to support Canada's industry and workers. When we carry out projects in Canada, we are supporting Canadian industry, Canadian workers, and Canadian families.
Now, I open my comments by reminding you that Canada's federal government will table our budget in 2 weeks. And in that budget, we're going to have to make responsible choices, difficult choices, pragmatic choices. We will do less of some of the things we want to do so we can do more of what we must do to build a bigger, better Canada. So we can invest in the infrastructure and the industries that grow our economy. Nous allons faire les investissements nécessaires pour
We will make
protéger
the
nos
investments
communautés,
required to protect our
pour que vous
communities
puissiez vous sentir en sécurité
so that you
dans
can
votre
feel
quartier.
safe in your
Dans des
neighborhoods,
communautés et sécuritaires, les gens, les familles
with
veulent
safe communities in
s'enraciner.
which families and people want to settle down, finding a home and having a rewarding, well-paid career, and ensuring that your kids get a good education. These conditions help us to feel safe and in control of our lives. And we understand that if we work hard, we will succeed.
We're making decisions that empower Canadians with better careers, lower costs, and more choices so you can build the future that you want. We're creating high-paying union careers in Canada. We'll unlock new apprenticeships and skills training programs, so whether you're switching jobs or just starting out. And we'll also launch a new talent strategy for the next generation of scientists and innovators to build their careers here in Canada. Nous allons miser sur le talent canadien.
We will focus on Canadian talent so that the next generation of innovators and workers can make their careers in Canada. We will create new industries and new markets, and therefore you will have all the competencies required to seize these opportunities.
Has always been a nation of builders. In the 70s, we built the CN Tower, the tallest in the world, a symbol of Canadian innovation. In the 90s, we connected PEI in New Brunswick with the Confederation Bridge, spanning an incredible 13 kilometers. Decades before, we built the St. Lawrence Seaway in just 5 years. It cost $340 million back in 1959. That's about $3.5 billion in today's money. But that seaway has moved more than $1 trillion of cargo since. It's created tens of thousands of jobs for Canadians, welders, manufacturers, business owners. The point is, when we bet big on ourselves, when we bet big on the type of infrastructure we're talking about today, we realize the benefit as Ontarians, as Canadians for generations. This Darlington plant won't only build clean technology, it will build Bowmanville, creating high-paying careers and helping families around here get ahead. Look, we used to build things in this country. Now we're building again. Together, we're building Ontario strong. Together, we're building Canada strong. Thank you. Merci. Merci beaucoup.